What's up guys, Magic Navs here, and today I'm bringing to you a review on my customized and somewhat upgraded AK, and this is specifically the CYMA AKM, and this is also the version with the underfolding stock, as you can tell. So I'm just going to kind of give you my overview of this rifle setup that I've put together. Because as of late, I've had this gun for, I'd say, about 6 months, more or less, and I kind of have it just as a backup or reserve if ever my main gun, my VFC M4, like stops working, or if I just if I have a friend who wants to play with me and I want to save them the trouble to rent a gun and pay. I got this for them, so it's pretty easy to use. And recently too, I just kind of had that itch to run with an AK for my Airsoft videos. So anyways, this is I'm just gonna go a quick overview of this, so you know how this rifle set up. So internally, all right. Everything is pretty much stock. The only exception to that is obviously I had to change the spring out to keep it under 380 FPS, which is my local field limit indoors. It's a CQB field, if you're wondering. And also, the only other internal upgrade change I made was adding a MOSFET to it, because I like having a fast trigger response and being able to have quick follow-up shots. And also I just hate having lockup happening while I'm shooting and I'm doing quick follow-up shots as I'm shooting. So I think if anything, nowadays it's a good idea to once you get a stock AEG, obviously depending on your field limits, change the spring so it's just under your field limit, and then also add a MOSFET if you can. The tight bore barrel and the those hop butt bookings, flat hop, that can kind of come later. And given that this isn't my main gun that I use, this is just a fun gun, or just to keep things interesting for me, or if I need to lend it to a friend, I'm not gonna worry about adding a flat hop or anything like that right now. So right now, having the MOSFET here, it's perfect right now for me. Now, that's as far as the internal goes. That's it. Everything else I would just add I would add externally to the gun. This is just to keep myself at my maximum potential and playability against other players. And so I wanted to keep the authenticity of the gun, so obviously I still have the wood handguards and everything. I decided not to run a red dot sight, because I feel like anytime you add a sight onto an AK, it just looks weird to me, unless you're having a tactical or modernized AK without the wood grips and stuff. And if you have the wood grips and you start adding a scope or something, it just kind of looks really out of place. So, and I actually, for the record, I don't mind having to shoot iron sights on an AK, because I feel like, because it's most of the time just designed to shoot in closer distances, it's not meant to be a DMR or sniper role. I just run with the iron sights. In fact, if you practice enough, you can get pretty quick with the iron sights, because it is an open top sight, as opposed to your M4 sights where you have to look through a peephole at the back. That obviously kind of slows you down a bit with aiming. But with this, with the open top front and rear sight, it just makes it much easier for you to line both sights up. And even just using the caveman red dot technique, which is just lining the front sight up to your target at close distance, pretty much works as a red dot would in that situation. So in that case, iron sights I'm gonna stick with for this. Now, on the left side of the gun right now, you can tell I have, this is actually my Black Cat M600 flashlight. It's got white illumination, which is about 300 lumens, as well as it has an IR mode, which you would use for night vision. I pretty much got this set up in case if ever I do decide to, or if I ever am in a situation where they do decide to do low light gameplay, so I have it available for this gun if ever the opportunity comes for me to use that stuff, right? But as far as the main purpose is to have the white illumination, so I can trace my BBs, I can check in dark corners, and obviously if I'm on one-on-one with somebody, I can blind them momentarily to get the edge over them. So this is actually obviously from my M4, from my VFC. So if I'm running this gun, obviously I'll switch this flashlight to this gun, but if I'm not using this, I'm just letting it to a friend, I'm going to save the amount of weight for my friend, especially if it's their first time. I'm going to put this on my gun and they're not going to have a flashlight, you know, because if you're a beginner, you don't really need that if you're just starting. So, but this is hooked up with the pressure pad that it came with, and obviously with as far as pressure pads go, like typical, like standard ones, right? Not the Picatinny ones. The sticky doesn't work, and I really don't want to ruin this wood or add so I didn't want to use any super glue or anything, so I literally just used these are reusable zip ties. So in fact, you can actually, there's a button here that you would press to actually open this up and then keep the zip tie reusable. So it's not like you have to keep using new ones again and again. I've obviously chopped off the excess and have these zip ties holding the pressure pad in place. So in my view, it still kind of keeps the authenticity of the old style wooden AK, which I really like. I'm a big fan of, so that's why I kind of have zip ties, because I feel like that's kind of fits the old style and kind of ruggedy and kind of simplified setup for this. So for as far as the zip ties holding the pressure pad, works great. Just, I mean, I can't tighten it too much, otherwise it holds down the pressure pad on button. So that's that. By the way, these are held by this is the flashlight's held by these Picatinny clamps that I got. I will leave a link in the description, maybe if I'm able to figure it out what the name is again. But yeah, this flashlight's mounted just like this, all right, on the top of the barrel. Now moving on to the right side of the gun. As you can see, I got a new camera for my scope cam. This is a Brain Exploder Runcam 2. Actually, specifically, it is the Runcam, the Airsoft Runcam. So he kind of, I guess he kind of made a switch over to selling the one he already created. Runcam basically just started making it as themselves, and now Brain Exploder is selling their product. So but it is held by a side rail mount, as you can see, and I'm gonna be having the same exact setup for my M4 as well. And same thing, there's another barrel mount that's right on the gas tube here, and this is what holds the camera right here, just next to the barrel, so you'll get a nice view of the BB shots as they're flying. I'm going to be doing a review on this camera pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. But also, as a bonus, I've added a infrared laser. Again, this is just if I'm lucky and I get the opportunity to play a low light game, I can use this with the AK, and it's actually mounted with a 45 degree angle offset mount, also attached to the barrel clamp, or the barrel mount. So that way it's not in the way of the camera, but also puts it more aligned with the barrel itself, so it has a bit more accurate aiming when you're using this with night vision. So yeah, pretty much, and then all you need to do is just, if you're going to be using this during a night vision, a low light gameplay, just gotta press the button at the back and it'll turn on. You'll see it through night vision and stuff, and that is pretty much it. So once again, this is my personal rifle setup for this CYMA AKM, and as you can see, I try to keep it pretty simple. Obviously I did make some internal upgrades as far as just the MOSFET itself, but nothing else. I just wanted to keep this pretty simple, straightforward, and not too cluttered. With this accessories added right here, it does make the gun still quite front heavy, but yeah, it's just either way fun for me to kind of change things up once in a while instead of just shooting an M4 all the time. But then again, if I have a friend who's going to be playing with me one day, and obviously I'm going to be using my M4, I'm going to be lending him this, and I'm just going to I would be removing all this stuff because they wouldn't need it anyway, so it would definitely take some of the front weight off of this gun for them, so they get less tired. So that's it, guys. If you have any questions about this AK or any of the attachments that I put on this, I've did some reviews on some of these stuff, so I'll leave some links down there as well. Leave any questions you might have down in the comments below, and hope you enjoyed this review or overview of this AK rifle setup. Hope to see you guys in my future videos. Peace out, guys.